and
Yeah.
gentlemen, welcome to Unfiltered and Raw, the podcast where the mask drops, where we get real, and where we do not avoid things that matter. No filters, no shame, just honest conversation about life's challenges, the choices we made, and how they shaped who we became. 8 children, one childhood. 8 different destinies, 8 children, one home, one set of parents, one religion, one childhood? Or was it? How is it possible that 8 brothers and sisters can grow up under the same roof yet carry 8 complete different stories into adulthood? Today, we're opening the door to Liliana's childhood and exploring how one family can shape 8 different destinies. So, Liliana, welcome, and I'll let you do the talk.
Thank you and welcome everybody. So this is such a big topic. So I've decided it's not just the topic itself, but it's about the 8 different childhoods. So I don't think we're going to fit in one episode. We're going to split this in 2 episodes. So today I'm going to talk about our childhood up to the age 18, 20. Um, and then next episode, we're going to talk about the adulthood. So, if anyone followed the previous podcast, I talked about my religious family and the way we were brought up in a very severe, strict religious upbringing.
So, one question, please. The 8 children, so the 8 of you have lived all 8 in one home until 18. Or did you one went off when they were 10, or it was like all together?
All together, yeah.
Okay, yes.
We we were all together, eight
Hmm.
of us
Yes.
under the same roof.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm I'm gonna start with the firstborn. I
Okay.
actually wrote this book, so I'm gonna use
Oh,
this book because the content, and I'm going to um, use other names for my siblings because course, I don't have their consent to talk about them. So I wrote the book with other names, and I'm going to use other names for my siblings. So I'm going to start with the firstborn. So the firstborn, Leonardo,
mm-hmm.
he was a boy, and called him what he could never say because he was always under how do you say he was so disliked by my dad.
Really, the firstborn?
Yes,
Oh God.
he was a very shy boy. He was very clever,
Mm-hmm.
smart, articulate. He was very good, at school. He was very good at making things, and he was always there helping us. Very sensitive boy. And one day, I was about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years old. I went home from school and he wasn't at home. He wasn't there. And we couldn't question much. But then after couple, because then I said, I don't know, he probably went to grandma or he
Mm.
probably went somewhere else. And after a couple of days,
They would
my dad
lie.
said,
They would
"Oh,
lie to you. So
pardon?
they would lie to you, say that it was probably somewhere else. They would.
No, 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 they didn't lie. So I asked her, where is he? Where is he?
Yes.
Oh, he's in hospital. And I said, are we going this evening? We're going to visit him. And I said, I want to come. I'm going to come and see him because, I need to see him. So I went with mom and dad, and I could have never imagined they took him to a madhouse. In the 80s, there were still the madhouses. And I think he was 18. Um, when we reached the hospital ward, so it was like a prison. These big metal gates,
Mm.
chained with these big chains, like. So my mom and dad rang the bell, and the doctor came out and he said, we're here to see Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out wearing a white jacket, a straight jacket,
Yeah.
and he was so drugged up. He hardly recognized. He shook my hand, and I said, "What happened? What happened?" I couldn't figure out. I was so young, and I said, "What happened? Why are you here?" And he shook my hand like I was a stranger.
Yeah. Completely numb.
18. He was absolutely drugged up his eyeballs.
Oh, poor guy.
So we left and in the car, and I was asking, why is he there? Why? What happened to him?
Yes.
What happened to him? I couldn't figure out.
Mm.
And I said, well, he had a nervous breakdown just out of the blue.
Yes.
He had a nervous breakdown. Now, um, after there are things that in life you don't want to see,
Of
you don't want to
course.
understand, you just refuse. But then it's difficult, even now, it's difficult to say. I think that was the moment, I mean, that it was like he was abused by mum, incest. Now,
Yeah. Mm.
I, I don't know. I mean, it's just because this is the conclusion we came to.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that, he then, when he came home and he ran away, and he was back and ran away again. His life was a nightmare.
Misery. And about the abuse, when did you know? Because they didn't tell you, I suppose. You got to know afterwards,
Yeah,
probably. When did you know? And do you know also when it began for him? I can imagine he had like a
I
breakdown.
think it began very young, very young.
Very young.
And that was, I think, was the point that there was, um, because after him there is Christian, the second born, the boy as well. So these two boys never liked each other. They hated each other since they were kids.
And how so was that created, that hatred?
Exactly.
Hmm. Oh.
So there was
Creating
that.
division. Yeah, at a young,
Yeah,
creating division at a young age too. That's how you keep control. We all know
yeah.
that.
They hated each other so much since they were kids. When you're at home, you're a kid, you don't understand. They just,
No.
you say, oh, stupid things. He pushed me. He's done this. He's
Yeah.
done that. But that was something very deeper,
Hmm.
much deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he was taken to the madhouse, because before that, I remember he was spending all afternoon after school. He would come home and he would refuge himself under the where the barrels of wine were kept, because we were in the countryside, in a farm, and we had barrels of wine. So, and he was drinking. I mean, he was drinking all evening, all night.
Oh
He would
God.
spend he
Yeah.
would spend all his evening there to cope. And I think that's when he couldn't take anymore, and he said, "That's it."
Mm.
So, but anyway, we were studying the Bible. We were good Christians. We were a very good family.
Mm. Yeah.
So, and he never recovered from that. Then the second born Christian was kind of he had a kind of learning disability.
Mhm.
He wasn't smart at all. He wasn't sharp, but he was a malicious, malevolent.
Oh yes.
And I title him the Wounded Blade
Ooh, yes, I understand.
because he was wounded because, as I said, my mom is a narcissist and a psychopath. So she knew how to manipulate all of us. Of
Mm.
course, when you're born in with a parent like that, you have no idea what is right and what is wrong. So you just go along, and so Christian is more or less exactly like mum, malicious. He would stab you without thinking twice. He would take your money without thinking twice. Because, kind of, I can do that and I get away. We cannot do anything.
Mhm.
So, with no remorse, nothing. Completely the opposite from Leonardo.
Mhm.
And I think what happened is there's been a switch between the two,
Mhm.
where Mama's groomed the first one for her dirty stuff, and then he probably realized that's not a normal things you do
Mm.
as a boy, and she switched to the other boy,
Yeah.
and that's where the hatred was more evident. They would fight big time, big time, until Leonardo left home.
And that was
And
at what age did Leonardo left home?
about 20.
And what do you mean by fight? Is it like verbally, or was it also really fighting physically?
Physically,
Okay, very aggressive
yeah,
then. Oh,
very. And mom wouldn't do anything.
yeah. If you're a narcissist, you enjoy it. She would enjoy it
Yeah,
because that's what narcissists do. They
yeah.
enjoy all the other people
She
suffering. I know.
Dad wasn't there because he was always working,
Mm,
and she would enjoy everything. What can I do? What can I do?
mm. Oh,
You know, she would always play the innocent, the
card,
poor
yes.
mother.
Mm,
That I don't know what they do that. I don't know. She was a very
mm.
softly spoken, she's a very kind lady. No one would ever doubt anything.
Yeah, yes, they are the worst. It's a surface level kindness, but underneath can look very different.
And Christian has been used to this very moment to be her personal executor.
Yeah, okay.
He he's been doing all the dirty work. And I mean, Mom's done dirty work, but Christian really
Mm.
learned the art of being a bad person.
Yes, because she must have felt he's like that. I'm gonna infuse him a little bit more.
Yes, she would reward him,
Yes.
and we always thought he was the favorite child, you know, as the favorite child, because like if she had just one child, but then later in life you realize She never had the children. She used all of us.
Yes.
And so I say that she used all of us because there is a pattern as repeated from the first one to the last one, that we were always sick.
Oh,
We were always in hospital, severely sick,
all of you.
touching death,
All eight
all
of
of us.
you.
Yes.
Yes, that's really strange, right? That's not normal.
No. Always, almost touching death. For example, Christian, he he was a teenager and he goes out one evening and he breaks his leg, the femur, and he was in bed with this cast from under the armpit here to the full leg to his foot. I mean, we're talking about the 80s. So he was in bed for 1 year because
From
he's,
here, for a femur. That is weird. From the chest down.
yeah, but we're talking about the 80s. Yeah.
Yes, but, it's weird.
It was one block of cast from here
Yes.
to,
Couldn't move,
yeah,
basically.
because, yeah, he couldn't move, nothing. He was crucified in bed. And with that, of course, the disease, you get it weaker and other complications. And then after that, he, a few years later, he was fixing a car
Mm-hmm.
at home,
Christian,
inside
you
the
mean?
garage. Yeah.
Christian, you mean? Was fixing a car.
Yeah, Christian, yeah, was
Okay,
fixing
yes.
this car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because he didn't have the equipment, the right equipment, he was just doing, DIY.
Mm.
So basically, he pulled this car up
Mm-hmm.
and the engine fell right on his head here. Near death, really didn't die for a miracle. So, and it took, I don't know how many years. In fact, he was disabled for many years.
Oh, basically, it crushed his head.
Yes. Is the forehead about the brain, on top of the brain, and then there is Teresa. So there is 2 boys and 5 girls, and 1 boy at the end. So Teresa, I call her the loyal ghost.
Okay.
Very shy girl,
Mm-hmm.
the first girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was very shy. In fact, she couldn't speak. She wasn't verbally. She was a non-verbal girl.
Okay.
Because God knows what kind of trauma she was put under.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to school, the primary school. It was very difficult for her to start learning how to speak. And then she had the same problem with, like me. She went to, she was in hospital for months on end. But I think there was an attempt of adoption there as well. So she was left in this hospital, the same hospital like I was left. And again, she really, she wasn't well all her life. She would lose hair. She would have very bad periods, severe periods. She was always
Yes.
crying and pain and suffering. For sometimes you couldn't even figure out what was wrong with her. So sick for no reason, sick. Then there is the second girl, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
How do I call her? The caged flame, I call her.
Oh,
She was, I could say, yes, she was bubbling, clever. She had so much, she was so, how do you say, person full of life.
yes.
She really wanted to do a lot, but she was so suppressed.
Yes. Oh.
So denied everything. She was denied everything. She really wanted to get into studying. The only thing she could achieve was cooking, making cakes, and but again, she wasn't well. She always had this excruciating pain on her knees, and her knees were bending for no reason. Yeah, she had the legs were like this.
O legs, like they call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under the knee just went like this, and I mean for no reason, you know. She would have all this pain in her bones, you know,
And
crying for no reason.
what exactly do you mean by she was denied everything? Deny we understand, but what exactly was she denied?
Everything. If she wanted to dress like a girly, she wasn't allowed to.
Oh,
When she was 16, she wanted to go to a special school for to become a chef, for example, and she was denied that. She was denied to go out. She was denied to buy a pair of jeans because, these are all things that the JW will not agree. So she was denied to go out with a friend, denied to have a friend at home. She was denied everything.
yeah.
So really kind of turning off that light bit by
Yes.
bit.
Yes, because
And
all the
then,
things that gave her joy, basically, that she wanted, little things that every child asks, she was denied
yeah.
the basic, apart from
And then
eating
she,
and drinking, maybe not, but
no, exactly. You just diminishing that flame. And
mm,
eventually, you really disconnect the child.
mm-hmm.
She was repeatedly accused of being grandma's. She was exactly the same like grandma. That would be mom's mother-in-law, which they didn't, they didn't like each other at all. And mom would say, "Yeah, you're exactly the same like your grandma." Da, 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 da.
Yes. But grandma
Accusing.
was a bubbly lady also, who
She she liked her, she would, I don't know, but I don't think there was any by grandma any discrimination. It was just mommy used to see her and she was like grandma. So because she didn't like grandma, therefore she didn't like her.
yes,
So I don't know. I mean, when you're sick and twisted in your mind, you're a
yes,
narcissist, you find any excuses not to
yes.
like your children, you know. Then, um, actually, no. Teresa, for example, she got married at 18. She found her escape route at 18. She found this boyfriend. She got married just to get out.
Yes.
And Vanessa, the same. Vanessa, she did a run with her first boyfriend. She met this boy, and I remember we helped. She jumped the window of the first floor at 1 o'clock at night to run away with this boyfriend. And then they ran and they went to Switzerland because he had some relative in Switzerland. And then they got married. And
Mm.
but basically at this point, what I'm going to say is, because I want to say, like, when she got married, she received mom's curse. Mom cursed her.
And why? Why, she is now out of the house. That is, I think, for your mom, one less person to be responsible for. And then even when siblings are from a distance, she had to constantly, yeah,
Oh, yes,
put things
because
on
that's
them.
narcissism. But that's narcissism for you, because they have to destroy you. The narcissist person cannot see anybody having a good life. And so, for example, for Teresa, when she got married, to, I mean, so my Vanessa's claims that before they got married, apparently mom used her boyfriend for herself. So, and then she got married to a normal ceremony, and kind of a normal way, because she was satisfied for all the way she wanted things to go.
Okay.
For Vanessa, because she ran away,
Mm-hmm.
when she got married, in her wedding day, she took her aside and she cursed her. She said, "You shall not have one day of your life, one happy day in your life." And believe it or not, so it was.
I believe you. You were the witness. You saw it.
Never had a good marriage, good life. It was always a struggle. Well, Kat, then there is me, the fighter without a fate. I was always fighting back. I was always fighting, and I never believed anything. That's why the name been given to me, the fighter without fate. So I said my story. Yes, I was sick. Then no, I didn't say probably everything. When I was 10 years old, I remember Dad came to pick me up from school, and he was taking me to Grandma. And I got into the car, and I started vomiting. I had this bad headache, very, very bad headache. But it wasn't the first time though, because I remember the first time I was in a primary school, and so I remember passing by my neighbor, and I had this weird face because I was in pain, and I said, I got a headache, I got a headache. And she said, "Oh, I'll give you something." She gave me some tablets, and then the headache went. But little I knew. So since then, I had headaches, the migraines, on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis for 44 years, only to learn and accept, because we came to we knew we had a weird family. We knew we had strange parents. We knew mom was very strange,
Mm-hmm.
but we never knew what mom was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is, years ago, I went back to Italy.
Well, and you say we knew there was strange. And why do you say that? Did you, for example, talk to other people in your class, your classmates or other, and then you compared and you said, hmm, or was it just by looking to the outside world and noticing this and that, or did you communicate it
Everything,
everything
yeah, it
together?
was a bit of everything, because
Okay.
we had to attend the JW meetings, and we were not allowed to go out. We were not allowed to have friends at home. We were not allowed to have um, literature
Anything,
that was
basically.
not, no books, which wasn't textbooks of the schools, or magazines or newspaper. Everything was bad. And there were we had television on and off, because if their brain said, oh, this is bad, that corrupts the mind of young people, so that would remove the television for periods of time because that would be bad for us.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I remember we were kids and we had all this spiritual weird stuff in the house, ghosts, you know, very weird stuff. We knew there was some. We were strange. Everything was strange because when I tried to talk to my friends, they would look at me like, "What the, you know,
What is she
what is?"
saying?
Yeah, exactly. And no one would understand. And I would keep quiet because I would
Yeah.
say no one understand, and no one have ever experienced these things. And so there is something strange, but you cannot pinpoint.
You feel it,
Le-
but you
yes, and we were sick, and we were sick, and we were sick.
and all of you. So that is extremely strange.
Exactly. No, but for us was normal,
Yeah, yeah.
because you don't know. It's not somebody who's going to beat you up. The consequences is get
Yes.
a broken leg. You know what I mean? Or you
Mhm.
get the consequences.
It's
No,
out of the
that was
blue.
all was invisible.
Yes.
And you think it's normal. People get sick,
Mm.
you know? I went for my migraines. I visited Italy, London, Middle East, South Africa, back to Italy, Milano, here and there. I visited the best doctors.
Mm-hmm.
No one. And the medication I was under, it was just unbelievable. I was up full of medication up here. I got liver tumor. I got with a fibromyalgia. I got the thyroid. I got brain cyst in my brain. I got all sorts. I ended up in a wheelchair at one point for how sick I got.
Mm.
And I was taking medication nonstop just to function. Not only that, I had this cloud in my brain, heaviness, confusion. I was always like, nothing is clear. I struggled all my life,
Yes.
until um, years ago. I went back to Italy, and my Vanessa said, "You have to come with me. We have to go. We have to go. We have to go. We have where do you want to?" Because I never believed anything. And she said, "We have to go. There is a charismatic priest in some parts of Italy." And I said, "Okay, let's go." So and I said, I never went to church. I never done religion in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So and I said, whatever, let's go. I mean,
Just to
let's
see.
see
Mm.
what he has to say. Annick, we waited for at least 6 hours. There was a queue of people, unbelievable, in a
My God.
place miles away from home.
Mm.
And basically, when it was our turn, we went in. We didn't open our mouth, nothing. He looked at me and he said, "How did you manage with all these headaches?"
And you didn't say one thing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Powerful being.
And I said, "What the fuck?" I said, "What?" And I said, "Well, okay." And he told me, and he said, "You were 11 years old when that was put on you because you were to be kept sick, confused, not to achieve anything in life." And he said, "That was mom."
Yes. And then
And
clarity, suddenly.
at that point, I could not even believe it. I said, but the thing is, I lived all through my life.
Mm.
And so, but my brain is conflicting. Is he making up? Who the fuck is this guy? How does he know these things? And I said, but at the same time, I experienced all of this. And, he didn't say anything that wasn't true. And then he said things about my sister. And I said, I couldn't believe. And I said, oh my God. And then, of course, now I was able to see what happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, before I'm going to say the rest later, we were sacrificed.
Yes.
Our health was sacrificed in rituals for her to gain
Yes.
health and power and money.
Yes, I think that's how satanic cults operate. They have to extract good energy from ABC until YZ for their only gain. It's not about feeling good myself and also having other people to feel good. It's about just extracting from others for me, 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 me. That's the basis, I think, of what they're doing, right? And so you were used, all of you, for her to achieve. And your dad, it was that also,
Yeah.
was it
Oh,
to
yeah.
for her and him together to have good, or was he
No,
also
my dad was a
used,
victim. He was
also
a victim.
victim?
He
Oh,
was sick.
was
He
only
was a
for her.
victim.
Yeah,
Pardon?
it was only for her, even not for her
Yeah.
husband. Oh my God.
No,
Yes.
no.
Pure
And
psychopath, narcissist.
it took me years to process and to
Mm,
accept that.
yes.
I could never believe it, never, ever, ever believe in a million years. Because then, go back to now, there is me, and now next to me, there is a Serena.
Yes.
So, Serena and Vanessa were the most despised girl of mom.
Mm,
Mom just didn't like this too. I don't know why. You see, Teresa is like Christian, is used to her
mm,
because they never rebelled. They
yes.
just do what she said.
They went along with her
But
wishes. Yeah.
exactly, they never contradict her.
Mm,
Never.
mm-hmm.
But Vanessa, Serena, we kicked off. We kicked back. We just couldn't accept the status quo. We questioned things.
Mm,
But who got the most shit was Vanessa and Serena. Serena, she is 15, 16 years old.
mm-hmm.
Yes, she was sick when she was young as well. She's 15, 16. She has a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, take your boyfriend home. We want to see this boy.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yes, very unusual. But of course, but if you have a plan, why not?
Yes. Yeah, okay, it's interesting. Go on. Very interesting.
So Serena takes her boyfriend home,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, she started disappearing. She started losing weight. She started losing weight at the stage that you could see her
Yes.
rib cage.
Mm.
And there was something, I don't know why, probably the angels told me to do something because I said, what's going on here? She
Mm-hmm.
was so sick. And I was telling
But
Mom,
did she have kind of a diarrhea thing going on? Because when
no,
you
no, no,
and she was eating normally and she was losing all
yeah,
that weight.
yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's something imposed. It's yeah.
yeah. So I'm getting so worried.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to neighbors, to people. And I said, something. And back then, I thought Mom was ignorant. She would not understand the gravity of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, she was naive, ignorant. She was not malicious because if she would have done something. And I talked to the neighbors and I said, I'm concerned about my sister. I'm seriously concerned. And they said, that's not normal. They fucking knew these people. Everyone knew. We were the one we didn't know.
Oh,
And this lady said, I was 18. I just had my driving license and I could drive.
oh,
And this lady said, if you want, there is an old man in a village far, not too far.
hmm,
If you want, you can drive me there, and you're going to see this man. He's going to be able to tell you what's going on. Look, when you have nothing to lose and the situation is
yeah.
bad, and I said, okay, let's go. And we went to this place. There was a very little old house. There was nobody there. Opposite, there was this block of flat, and we were waiting in this little house at the bottom. I said maybe comes later. We were waiting, and on the other side there was a man looking down, and this man goes, "Are you waiting for me?" And the lady said, "Yes, yes, we're waiting for you." And he came downstairs and he looked at me and he said, "Yeah," he said, "I was waiting for you to come." And I said, "What?
He
You
knew.
wait?"
Oh God.
Said, "What?" Of course, you keep quiet. And I said, "What?
Hmm.
He's waiting for me? He was waiting for me?" And I said, come in, sit down." And then he said, "Yes, yes, sister." He said, "You need to do something. Somebody's taking her life force. She's gonna die if you don't do something immediately." So basically, that was uh, a curse to take her life force to the point that she was dying, literally. And she lost all her body weight. She was so sick. Basically, yes, how do you call it? No, the curse, this death spell to take her life force.
Is it called Death Note? I don't know. No, no, I don't know. I don't have it. I don't know what
There
kind.
is all sorts of,
A spell. There's all sorts of
yeah,
spells, I think, but a kind of a spell, basically to end a person's life in
yeah,
a horrible
and take,
way. And she did it in a subtle way. For me, it's a subtle
yeah,
way. If I look at it from a distance, people see this girl getting skinny. They could have thought, oh, maybe she has like I thought, severe diarrhea, some kind of sickness, of she is dieting to the point where you don't know. You see a person get skinny and they eat normal, so you don't know. But it's really, yeah, in a very subtle, nasty way.
you would never imagine if you don't
No,
experience this thing, never.
no.
Then what happened is, now, since I started learning myself about the power of energy,
Mm-hmm.
the good use or the bad use of energy, so how you can manipulate the energetic field, how you can manipulate the energetic field for your own good.
Yes.
Um, so for the dark side,
Wait,
when you,
I have a question. So you're saying, and I think that's logical, you can use energy for good or for bad. That's a choice. But so for the people who are using it for the bad, do they get initiated, or can anyone or anybody suddenly say, "Oh, tomorrow I'm going to start and using imposing things on other people"? Or do
no,
you have to get initiated by I don't know which kind
no,
of
no, no,
clan? You can do it
no.
out of the blue. So it's very dangerous because it's available for everyone.
But it's the dark side anyway. So, I mean, a person who start with trying, and the dark side favors you because you give something, and if you don't give, it's going to take anyway. So when the dark side is not satisfied with your payment, because when you promise something to the dark side,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
the dark side will take anyway, one way or another,
You make a
from you.
contract, and when you
Yes,
don't keep up with the contract, yeah,
yes.
too bad for you
It,
then.
yeah. So after I visited this old man,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went to mom naively and I said, "Oh, mom, something very bad has happened. They told me this and that." She looked straight into my eyes and she said, "Do you believe this stupidity? Please do not spend a single penny on this stupidity because, of course, these things cost lots of money."
Mm.
Well, I didn't give up. So it was summertime. I had no money. I just left home. I went to work full time, 3 months in a beach area, in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So where you do seasonal work, and there was 3 months that summer to pay these men to remove that spell from my system.
And was it removed?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good.
It cost me 3 months hard work.
But you
I
saved a life. You
Do you
saved
know
a
what
life.
happened to Yes. Do you know what happened to mum as a payback? Because when
Yes,
you remove that stuff, that goes back to
it's karmic retribution. They call it. They are not happy
yeah.
then.
So they had livestock,
What does it mean, livestock?
cows and bulls,
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah.
and after that, my sister was regained skin color. She was like a Walking Dead,
Hmm.
and she was regaining everything. She regained everything
Yes,
immediately. One day, dad comes home and said, "Oh, a bull is dead, healthy, ready for the butcher." And I'm talking about money
yes,
because
of course.
they
Yes,
cost. So basically, in a week, they lost 3 or 4 bulls. Bang, 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 bang.
yes. They need the life from somewhere. If they don't get it from the
Exactly.
human, they will take it from animals, innocent
That's it.
animals.
Back then, that was just bad luck.
Oh, yeah.
We had no idea. It was this analysis, this understanding came after I met the charismatic priest who told me this, and this.
Yeah.
So looking back, and I said, now makes sense why we were always sick.
Yes.
Then let's finish, otherwise we're gonna take all my. Okay, I'm gonna go quick now. After Serena, there is another girl, Anita.
Number how
Anita,
much we are speaking now? Anita's number
5.
5. Okay.
And she is the 7th child. She's the 5th girl and the 7th child.
Mm-hmm.
She is a girl. She is a very confused, kind of a bipolar personality, disturbed, again, uh, with no reasons. Just this very weird behavior. And but again, she left home early,
And what do you
about
mean
her
early?
20s.
20, yeah.
Yes, yeah, she left home, very uncomfortable at home. And but again, as I said, with this bipolar personality, never comfortable at home, because of course she was sucked her life force the same way.
Yes.
But she didn't have this drastic sickness that put her in hospital or anything.
Hmm.
And then there is Giulio, the 8th child and the boy.
Yes.
So this is the last child of 8. Julio's not with us anymore.
Oh,
Julio was
passed?
taken.
Julio passed, I think you told me not so long
Yeah.
ago. Yes.
No, it passed,
Yes.
but that was, again,
Mm.
I think there was a backfired death spell on the girls. One of us that backfired and hit Julio.
And what do you mean by backfired?
Because some of us are protected.
Mm. Those who believe.
Yeah,
Those
some of
who
us,
work with the angels
some,
and with, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And that, so Julio as well, he was 78 years old. He was in hospital. He had a very bad rheumatoid arthritis, was taking his life. Was almost, almost dead.
Mm.
Because what happened is with this, the inflammation is so bad, and he was left at home, no care. Is it just, the kid's temperature is gonna be fine? But she knew exactly what was going on
Mm.
there. Until the neighbor came home and he said, the fuck is going on here? He has to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He was taken to the hospital, he survived. And then he was about 18. Again, he was very sick with the same disease. And at the age of 33, he was taken with this tragic accident. But that was not, we always believed it was a tragic accident,
Mm.
but that was a backfired death spell on one of us, me or Serena or Vanessa.
Now I understand you mean because you're protected, the spell makes twink and goes to another person automatic. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because once you do this dark, you work with the dark forces, they want blood. If you offer blood, they will take blood one way or another.
Mm.
And
So
so,
the thing is, once you enter their world, there is no way back.
yeah. And it's more and more and more and more. And the last one,
Yes.
we go back to the first born, Leonardo. He was taken this February 2026.
Oh, yes, that's the poor guy. I imagine.
Yeah,
Did he ever get married, Leonardo?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, but this is a story for next time.
okay, okay. Yes. Mm, yes.
It's
Oh my
an
God.
utter disaster, tragedy, heartbroken. I mean, you cannot.
And about
We,
uh, um about this is very explicit, but I'm gonna ask anyway. You said the boys were abused by your mom sexually, right? The last boy as well?
yeah.
And did you know what? Because it's hard to imagine. I've been raped. I know if a man rapes a woman, I know what happens. But when a woman is doing it to a man, it's different. Do you know what happened? Did he tell you, or in some way, shape, or form, do you know what happened?
Well, they will never say that happened to them. So it could, it's all, how do you say, deduction, or it go by. So,
It's translation of the situation.
for example,
Hmm.
Leonardo,
Hmm.
he never was able to have a girlfriend.
Hmm.
He hated women. The same Christian and the same Julio. The only relationships they had, they were with the sex workers. They literally would go to pay sex workers
Hmm.
because they could not have a relationship. We had always, they hated women, and with anything after the 20s, there was a very disturbed relationship between us brothers and sisters.
But it's weird.
Because
Why do you go to a sex worker if you hate women?
Well, for your physical necessity.
Yes, but you can take a man also for your physical necessity or do handwork. That to me is strange.
Well, no, I mean,
On the one hand, they hate women, and then why use one for your. Yeah, that's
no, okay,
strange.
I'll explain to you. The hatred towards women is not the sexual need that they have to satisfy, it's the relationship. They could never have a relationship with a woman.
Mm.
Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Because a woman is an abuser.
Okay, I understand. Projection from the mom. Yes.
Exactly. Along the time, she will manipulate you and use you for her gain.
Yes.
So that's why they were not able to have this. Also, there are other disturbing things that were happening at home, and you can say, so if you have your brother coming and asking for sex, that is not a normal upbringing. Where has he learned these things?
Yes, that's not normal.
Yeah, there are so many things that I'm not willing to talk in details. There are
Mm.
so many things that point that happened to them. Also, this conflict between the boys, this
Yes.
hatred, this there is a book that was written by there's a syndrome called when a mom abused. No, it's not the Stockholm syndrome. Anyway, I don't remember now.
Yeah.
So the
There is a name for
psychological,
that.
huh?
There is a name for that when a mom
Yeah,
abuses the son. Ah, okay. I
yeah,
didn't know. I'm learning.
yeah.
Mm.
There are so basically what happen if you have a more than one sibling, they of course because you think you're a special one, you're the special
Yes.
one, and then when you're not the special one anymore, the other one becomes the special one,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
there is clash,
Friction.
conflict,
Mm.
big time. So the three boys they could kill each other.
Yeah,
In fact,
that was created.
I yes, I take Christian responsible for the death of Leonardo
Yeah,
entirely.
he was the
He's got his hand has got blood on his hand with
yeah,
mum.
together. Yes. They like you
It's very
said.
heavy today. It's a very
Yeah.
heavy session, very heavy. I mean, I'm laughing now, but
Yes.
anyway, this talk is because these are things that no one, I mean, well, there are some who can talk about it, but I personally had enough, and it's satisfying to me to at this point in my life that I could pinpoint and put the last puzzle in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Because until recently, I could not figure out what the hell, why. Now I'm able to say because this, and this, and make perfect sense.
Yes.
There is always reason behind behaviors.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so I said this has been a very heavy session today,
Mm-hmm.
and there is so much more about these eight siblings and how our adulthood developed and it's running. So this is for next episode.
So then, when people see a large family, 10, 8, whatever, 12, they often imagine belonging and support. We all would like that, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's not for everyone. Behind every family are other stories that nobody sees, unfortunately. 8 children may share one roof, one home, but each child carries their own reality under that same roof, in that same home. So, next time we'll explore what happened after childhood and so after 18. How did 8 children carry those experiences, heavy experiences, into adulthood? And how early years shape relationships, career, self-worth, and healing? It's thank you for these experiences, because it takes courage to share that. We are not sharing blah blah fluff fluff and woo woo. It is real talk here. So, Liliana, your book. Show us the book again
Oh,
and
yeah, exactly. I
explain.
was reading, reading.
Explain. Yes.
So here, this is the book I wrote about my story, and I called The Curse Breaker because when things are kept in silence, evil keeps on perpetuating. So the only way to break any, how do you say, any.
The chains of darkness, you want maybe to call it?
Yes, exactly. And to break those chains, you need to recognize, admit,
Expose.
and expose and talk about it. That's the only way you break the curse. And I got to the point that you say, enough, it's enough. That's what's been afflicting me and the rest of my family, my siblings. I am going to break this now. And so I did it.
Yes. Congratulations with your book. I'm sure it's extremely interesting. Now, as you all know, I wrote a book too.
Yes.
Co-authoring. It is called Start Over, Turn Any Loss into a Sensational Comeback. I had a speaker experience yesterday in Amsterdam with
Yes.
few co-authors. It was surreal. Many things didn't
Wonderful.
work out as I wanted it, but after this,
You were there. Yes.
it worked out even better than I thought. So challenges can be beautiful, and
Well
challenges
done.
can sometimes work out far better than we expect. So
Excellent. Proud of you, girl.
thanks.
Yes. You know, it's not easy to talk about themselves, to talk about their own experiences. But the reason why we're doing this, as I said, it has been healing for me as well as your experience. I know we've been talking about the healing journey, and we know if you want to heal, you need to bring those experiences, traumas right in front of you, and you need to face it and you need to talk. And what a better way when you can talk and you release all this
Yes.
accumulated um,
Dark energy.
and never, yeah. And then that's it. I mean, that's the way to go. And that's why we're doing this podcast to talk about it. And this maybe in the future we will invite other people, and it's our way of healing.
Yes. So, instead of welcome, it's now good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This was Unfiltered and Raw, the podcast where the mask drops, where we get real, where we do not avoid things that matter. No filter, no shame, just honest conversations about life's challenges, the choices that we made, and how they shaped who we became.
Indeed. Until next time, big love to everyone. Thank
Bye,
you for
everyone.
following and listen.
Io firmi templo, ono adjuvante gratia tuo. Dissei che l'orome non pecca tu, peccandi che occasiones, rossi la sfuggi tu.